Oh. Yeah, you can see it decent here. Ooh, that's so pretty. Hi, I'm Michaela and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you all of my November plant favorites. I'm going to start with the plant supplies because that's less interesting than looking at the plants. So, okay, and this is all really obvious stuff. This is just like stuff I've been doing lately to care for my plants that has made it a little bit easier. So the first one is I have a number of these scattered around the greenhouse and they are all filled with my little neem oil mixture. So that way if I see a pest, I take care of it right when I see it rather than make a mental note that hopefully I'll find again and have to go inside and mix up my neem oil mixture. This way I just have it out there and ready to go so I can take care of it right then. That's kind of a theme for plant care for me, is don't put anything off, just take care of it right when you see it. Or if you're me at least, it's probably just never gonna happen and then you're gonna have a real problem. So this way, these are just like maybe $1 at Walmart and I have 4 of them and I just have them scattered about and it's so helpful, let me tell you. It is easier out there because it's outside, so I don't have to put the plants in a tub or something to keep from getting it around my house. But I mean, you could really utilize this in that way also, just being careful not to get it all over everything. And I've never had issues with burning on this either. I know a lot of people are worried about that. I've never had an issue, and out in the greenhouse it's definitely more sunny. I have a shade cloth, but I've not had them burn yet anyway. The second thing I've been doing is wearing these to repot. I just got these at Lowe's. I used to have gardening gloves, but if you watched my cactus and succulent repotting video over the summer, I ruined them by getting a whole bunch of cactus spines in them. Gardening gloves don't protect you from cacti, fun fact. So yeah, I just got these and it has really helped just like keeping my hands from getting so dry when I repot. Like usually I repot so much that the backs of my knuckles are cracked and bleeding, especially in the winter. And yeah, I think it's the last day of November and they just look like hands. They're not even cracked. It's amazing, really. If you know me personally, you probably won't even recognize my hands because they're not cracked and bleeding because I have my hands in potting soil all the time. So I'm aware that this is not the most sustainable thing in the world, so it's not a great option in that way. For that reason, I try to keep all the repotting kind of concentrated, so I'll pick one day a week and set aside everything that needs to be repotted and just repot on that day. That way I only use one pair of these gloves. Because I've not had good luck with gardening gloves anyway. I'd like to find a good pair, but I haven't found them yet. They really don't last very long for me and they don't fit right ever. So for now, these are a really good option. And not only that, but I wanted to start wearing gloves because I've been putting slow release fertilizer in my soil, and I'm realizing that that is probably not the best thing to be handling with your bare hands, especially not for long periods of time, because it is what it is. I will touch my face if I'm repotting stuff like for several hours at a time. So I'm just realizing that it's probably not a good idea to touch a lot of the products and chemicals that we use frequently for our houseplants with your bare hands. So something I'm trying to be better at. I know that touching soil can be like good for your like immune system, I think. I don't know, I'm not a medical professional, obviously. But I mean, that can be kind of dangerous too, because like the soil that I buy at least has bat guano in it, and it doesn't really come to mind as a list of on my list of things that I want to be touching with my bare hands. So it's probably just smart to wear gloves. Gardening gloves. I talked forever about those things. Okay, so my next favorite, it's kind of an obvious November favorite maybe, but this is my Thanksgiving cactus, and yeah, so this was outside. It's got cobwebs on it, a little bit of dust, so that's fine. But it started blooming. Let me get the cobwebs off of this bloom. It started blooming last week, and last week was Thanksgiving, so I think that means it's a Thanksgiving cactus, but we're gonna be getting more too. I think this is a cool plant year-round anyway. So if you've watched any of my recent videos, I've been kind of on like a jungle cactus type of kick, like the orchid cactus and the rhipsalis, and this is very much that kind of vibe. And yeah, the blooms definitely don't hurt. This is kind of dying away, so I'll see if any of these bloom in the meantime and see if I can put a picture in this video. But I got this as a cutting from Samuel's grandma several years ago, and it has grown into this. But what she gave me, it was just like a little tiny cutting. So it's been really cool to watch it grow. Okay, my next favorite, I unboxed this plant in either May or June, and that is my Hoya Wymania. And it had the red backs. The new leaves do not, but Aroid Market sent this plant to me in the box of plants I unboxed from them over the summer, and this is the one that I most wanted to survive. This was probably one of the ones I was most excited about, and it took it a spell. I did not know that it was gonna make it, and I cut it up, but is it perlite? Oh good, it is perlite. I thought I found a mealybug, but it was perlite. Anyway, yeah, so this one is still going, and it's really taken off and just started growing really quickly lately. So we've got several new stems. So yeah, I'm just happy to see this one coming back, and maybe when we start getting a little bit more sun, I'll be able to sun stress it again. But for now, I'm happy with just life, and the sun stressing will come later. Okay, next we have another Hoya, and this is my variegated Hoya obovata, and this is a very slow grower. So I recently got these two new leaves, and no, they're not terribly variegated. Not terribly variegated. I don't know if that sounded right. They are not the most variegated leaves on this plant. Like the older leaves are definitely more variegated than these, but we do have a little bit. And if you can tell on this new little leaf here, is it focusing on it? There, I think it is. It looks like it's gonna have some variegation. So I've just been checking this every night to see if the leaf has gotten any bigger, and it gets a tiny bit bigger every day, and I've just had such a fun time watching it. And this took a long time to start growing, because it started to grow here, this little growth point here, and then it died, and then it came up here, and there was two leaves and they both fell off. Then we got these two, and now these. So I'm hoping that they will stick around. But it's been entertaining to watch for me lately. It's almost more fun to grow really slow growing plants, because you don't take the new growth for granted like you do with something that just never stops growing. So when you get a new leaf, it's really exciting. Okay, so the next one you may recognize by my paint stirring sticks is my little Monstera dubia, and it is starting to shingle, and I'm so excited about that. I felt so bad. I just could not get this thing to grow, and it put out a runner, and I could not figure it out for the longest time. So I cut it all up and I stuck this on a pole. I meant to turn the Lowe's side around, but I accidentally didn't, and then it was too late. I'm definitely not gonna turn around now. So on the bigger one, the Lowe's side is turned around. So it's almost to the other paint stirring stick now, but it's so cute. I'm so excited that it is doing what I want it to do now. Okay, the next one, you might recognize it from my Ecuagenera unboxing that I did a while back. This is my Philodendron Patriciae. This one has bounced back the best out of all of them that I ordered that day. Let me scoot back, see if you can see it better. Yeah, you can kind of, yeah, you can see it decent here. Ooh, that's so pretty. That new leaf is a really good size too. So this one has bounced back the best. It has been the easiest out of all of them, I would say. They've really all done so well though, I cannot complain. It's only been like a month or two, but they haven't declined, they have only improved. And when I unboxed them, they were in pretty good shape too. So I would say that's pretty good. And then we got a new leaf out of this one. It's the first one to give me a new leaf out of all of them. And it's just such a pretty one. And yeah, just a beautiful plant. I love the long strappy leaves. And I actually have this plant growing just in room humidity. It's just in front of an east-facing window. And it's been pretty cold here, and I've kept the blinds closed a lot, but there's still a little bit of light that gets through them. So I'm going to continue growing it just in room conditions because it's doing so well. I think it's acclimated pretty well to that. So I was really surprised by that because all of the information I had found about them was they're just very, very difficult, have to have them in a greenhouse, and even there they'll probably just die. So that's not been my experience with this one. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because it was a little more mature. I don't know if it's because I completely rerooted it. I have no idea, but I'm not asking questions. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. The next one is my Gloriosum in my little plant stand here. I'm so excited about all the new growth that this plant is giving me, and these big velvety heart-shaped leaves. I love Gloriosum so much. So it's finally, I put it in this plant stand in this pot. It was pretty small, so it's finally like filling out this pot a little bit nicer, and I'm just really happy to see it. I'm gonna put it back where it goes so I can show you. So that is where it goes. It just looks more full and less awkward back there in that stand, which I love. So I'm just happy to see it. Okay, so my last favorite is not something, it's something that's too big for me to bring inside, but it's my Philodendron Billietiae and Jose Bueno corner in my greenhouse. And both of those plants have been really growing lately, and they've been producing just the most massive leaves. It's wild. It's so cool to see though. So just this corner where they both are is so pretty, and it's the first thing that I look at when I go in there. It's just the first thing. It's the furthest from the door, but it's the first thing I want to look at. So I'll put in like a video of that. Okay, so those are going to be all of my favorites from the month of November. Thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe and follow me on Instagram at Queen City Tropicals, and I will see you again soon. There she is. Hi, buddy. I'm playing with May. Do you want to be in the video? Oh. This is my first November favorite. We have some Bernadette time because May is outside. I think she knows when she's on camera.